What's going on, people? Welcome to Sunday night. It is the Inter United podcast number 3. 3 weeks we've been doing this now. Have we had anything happy to cheer about? I think last week's was all right, but this week's could be one of them interesting ones again. All the comments are already coming in just from the title I put out there. I'm going to get everyone's opinions. As you can see, everyone in the room with me, we've got the A-listers in tonight. I'll start on my right-hand side. Your right. I've got the man Dave. Dave, Stadiums for Ants. He's here, the main man. He's going to break it down. We'll touch on some interesting developments in terms of what United are looking to do behind the scenes as well. I'm sure Dave will be well into that one. But Dave, other than that, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Fantastic, mate. I'm all right. Yes, my house is upside down, but I'm all right, mate. I am. Timothy, my friend from Canada. How are you, my friend? Are you good?
Pretty good, mate. Pretty good.
Good. Posting pictures out there of yesterday's social media seen before.
Yeah. Had a few down at the pub and trying to cheer the boys on to a victory, but yeah, it was good. Yeah. Good time.
Yeah, mate. Back in the playing days, mate? Was it?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the picture I sent out to you guys. Yeah, that was. That was
a private one. You were brave enough to post that one, mate, was you?
I'll put it out there for people. Back when I was thin and had 2 good knees and could get up and down a pitch.
Yeah. Mate, you look thin enough now, mate. Below him is my man, Saeed. Saeed, mate. Oh, we had plenty of videos, plenty of airtime yesterday, mate, and I don't know if the mood's changed yet. We'll get into that in a minute. But how's your Sunday been? Been, mate?
Sunday, mate, just a lot of chores, mate. Getting left, right, centre, mate. You know what I mean? It's just one of them. Just got to do it, haven't you?
Getting ready for your working week, mate. That's it.
No, I'm off, actually. It's just one of them where I've held it back for for a week or something. So now it's just like one of them. I just have to get it done. Get the frustration out. You know what I mean? Get that frustration out because all they couldn't deliver and the boys. You know what I mean? Now let's. But yeah. Other than that, mate, we're all good.
Oh, man. And next to Saeed, we have Mary from She Devils United. One of the best channels out there. Do check that one out as well, people. I will give the socials a shout at the end, as always. But Mary, it's been a crazy week, but how's your Sunday been? Have you just been chilling? How's it gone for you over there in lockdown now, obviously?
It's just you can only go for a walk within or a drive within 5 kilometers of your house, so you're pretty much like stuck, and the police are everywhere asking you where you're going if you go outside of the 5k. Yeah, pretty serious shit here, but yeah, it's been good. Like Saeed, I've been walking the dogs and doing some boring kind of jobs. Has to be done.
Oh man, no good. No good. Paul, mate. A lot's happened since you've been on the show last, pal. I'm leaving the best till last. How's your weekend been, mate? You've been moving house as well, haven't you, pal?
Yeah, we're in the process. Still waiting, man. It takes time, bro.
Oh,
dragging.
Mate, I don't know how you feel, mate. I mean, I'm just getting some wardrobes fitted, and our house is up in chaos. God knows how it is moving. It's mental. But anyway, let's get into it. I'm just going to come to each of you first. Obviously, yesterday, I drab one of the worst games I've watched in a long time. I did a watch-along. I don't know if any of you have seen it with Alfie, my lads. First time we've done anything together since the matchday vlogs. And one comment came up on the live stream which said the best thing about this game was watching Alfie eat crisps. Now, I think if that doesn't tell you exactly what the game was like, I don't know what does.
Yeah, what kind of crisps?
You know what? It was on some Aldi crinkly beef things or something like that. Okay. I don't even know what the name was. But no, I think he was enjoying them more than the football. My God. But yeah, that comment stood out a mile. It pretty much summed up the game completely. Well, I mean, I'll come to you first, Dave, mate. Over there, how was that taken that yesterday? Did you look at it with any positives at all? People are saying a clean sheet, first one of the season. I mean, if you're going to set a team up to completely defend, you might get a chance of getting a clean sheet. But is there anything out there for us from that game?
I think that if we look at it from 30,000 feet and look at it over the course of this very difficult 2 weeks that we're in the middle of right now, it's not the worst result. Was it boring? Yeah. Was the team selection highly questionable? Yeah. Where is Donnie? It's blowing my mind how this guy can't get a game. But if we're being fair, we did hop a flight to Paris, grab a couple of baguettes, slap those Parisians around with those baguettes, shag their missus, and then pissed off back to Manchester.
I love how you say baguette.
Somebody clip it.
Oh no! I know. Yeah, someone clip that.
Let's keep a little perspective here, because no, seriously, guys, let's be real here. After the Spurs game, if we would have said we're gonna beat Newcastle 4-1, we're gonna beat PSG in Paris, and then we're gonna split points with Chelsea, I think everybody would have been okay with that.
You're probably right. I mean, I don't know how Tim seen the game. Quickly, Kelly, welcome, newest member of Madrid United. Welcome to the crew, Kelly. Kelly has been, I think you've been a subscriber for a long time, Kelly, actually. But she's joined the membership now as well, and perks will be coming your way, Kelly. But thank you very much for joining the team. Tim, yesterday, mate. Dave's looking at it from a week-long view. I think he's having to look at it from the week-long view just to make it look better, in my opinion. But, I mean, yes, we had a brilliant result against PSG. Everyone was happy there. And let's have, if you're looking at it, I'll try to spin a positive on it. Nearly every team that played in Europe in the week has struggled this weekend. Liverpool scraped it, City, us and Chelsea. I don't know if Wolves did finish 1-1 today.
1-1, yeah.
And you know what? It's hard to put a positive on it. Did you take anything from the game, or are you like Dave, looking at it probably from the start of the week after the Spurs game?
Yeah.
Can we take that as a positive, or are we clutching at straws trying to bring two other games in to cover the one that we just played, when really we should have been taking Chelsea to town?
No, I mean, yeah, it wasn't a good performance. There's no doubt about it. The team sheet, when it came out, I just wonder, like, I know Dan James is in there. You just wonder, is Greenwood fit, or was he fit enough to start? I don't know. Ole never, we didn't get any indication of that. Obviously not missing Martial up front. So our front line was going to be thin as it is, because there's no way Cavani was going to see any, he came on when he came on because he's not match fit. That's how it is. So, it was a drab affair, but in the context, I agree with Dave, in the context of, what we did. It's a tough game to come out, to go to PSG and then have to come midweek and play, at the weekend and play Chelsea. It's a tough game, and it's a tough stretch of games. So I think in terms of, if you look at it from that perspective, yes, but obviously on the day, yeah, it wasn't good enough. And I'm sure we're going to get into the Van de Beek thing in a bit, but if it's going to be the 4-2-3-1 and he wants to play Van de Beek higher up the pitch, which is where he told him he was going to play him when he signed him, he's not playing over Bruno. So you're going to have to either rest Bruno and maybe he comes in against Leipzig. But all in all, look, I think at the end of the day, it's not as bad as we think it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it was Arsenal who were playing tonight. I got mixed up with Arsenal and Wolves. Wolves aren't in Europa League. Sorry, guys. Thanks for putting it out, Samson, mate. Saeed, no intro, nothing to say. Yeah. Take it away.
I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? I'm kind of the opposite, mate. I feel that's 2 points dropped. I feel that's, for me, probably the worst I've seen United in a long time. I really have. That was, for me, was awful, mate. Awful to watch. You know what I mean? I thought it was. For me, if Mourinho played that, I think we'd all be barking, we'd be moaning. Do you know what I mean? I just don't know, mate. For me, Chelsea there for the taking yesterday. Chelsea were awful. I thought that's probably, in terms of like Chelsea of old, we played Chelsea of old, Mourinho. You know what I mean? Hard to play against, nasty. You know what I mean? Ballack, Drogba. Talk about world class players here. And for me, I look at Chelsea and I look at them and I thought, yes, you know what I mean? Good players, individual players, but they're not powerful yet. They're not a powerful team. You know what I mean? Yes, they're good on paper, but surely we can beat them. And I just thought, I understand people thinking 5 at the back, 4 at the back, 5 at the back. That was all the talk about before the game. But for me, it was all about getting the personnel right. And when I see Daniel James and Juan Mata, I thought, okay, let me see Juan Mata maybe can find Rashford. He played all right against Newcastle. But then when you look at it and you're thinking, wow, look at the bench. The bench. I'm looking at it thinking, Van der Beek, Pogba, Cavani. You know what I mean? All these players should be playing. We're talking about a big game here. And I just look at the and I thought, and I just questioned his ambition as a manager, thinking, what does he want to go for? Is he going for a draw? And then the game came on, the game worked on. I don't know when Pogba came, but I forgot what Pogba came on or what time it was. Was it half an hour to go? And I just thought to myself, them players could have been played out there. This is what, for me, I've always said it in football. You start off with your best players, and then when you win the game 2 or 3-0, take off your best players and bring on the ones you can that can make a difference at the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just looked at it, I thought, the manager, I don't know what the ambition was. I really don't. I just looked at him and I thought, you know what, man? If this is what it's going to be from now on, man, this is what we are, man. This is where the football club is. Maybe we're just an average top club, you know what I mean? Maybe we're just one of them teams where we're happy with a point here and there. I just looked at it and thought, we're at home. We should be on the descendancy. We should be going for the points. Man United Football Club we are. And I just feel like today we played as if like, when you're watching them, your Sunday League teams and all them were saying, you know what, let's get in there. If we get a point, we're all right. For me, it felt like that for me as a watching it yesterday. I just thought it was awful, man. I really do, man. I think it's 2 drops for me.
Oh, man. I mean, Mary, say touched on it there. People can't really complain anymore about the quality on the bench. I thought our bench was better than our first team, to be honest, today, Mary. Selection problems, you can say. We all said it beforehand. It's good to have these problems, but surely there was a different way of looking at that, Mary. That bench was frighteningly good. I had nowhere to go. All Chelsea did was just absolutely batter Bruno in terms of just putting 2 or 3 men on him each time and making him play some stupid pass. I mean, the bench, Mary, what was going on there? Seriously, what was that team selection?
It was wrong. That's what it was. It was wrong. Like Dan James, I've tried to be as nice as I can without, bashing the guy, but really, I mean, he's championship quality player, let's call it out. We shouldn't be carrying any of these players. He's not even good enough this stage to make our bench. And if it was Pogba, I'd be calling him out. So Dan James, I'm going to call you out. Like, we should have sold him to Leeds when they wanted that 25 million. We should have snatched their hands off. He's not even worth 5 million, in my opinion. Awful player, like really and truly. Mada shouldn't be playing in the big games against the big boys. He was very, very good against Newcastle. He was good in the Carabao Cup games against Brighton and Luton, but that's his level. Sorry, it is. I love Juan Mada. He's a lovely guy, very good, intelligent player. But to play him against Chelsea, we needed pace in there. And Chelsea, I agree with Said, they were awful. Like, they're a massively overrated team with an overrated manager. They were there for the taking. Their big players, the big signings they haven't gelled. And I would have said, the guys, I would agree if we weren't already playing catch up, but we've got hammered against Spurs and lost to Crystal Palace. We're already 6 points behind, plus we haven't played our game in hand, haven't won a home game since August against Lask, and you're going out there from the get-go, in my opinion, playing for a draw. It's not good enough. I know we were outstanding against PSG, but you have to take it one game at a time, and you're only as good as your last game. And for me, they were there for the take, and he's set up negatively. Our better players were on the bench, wrong selection. Everything was wrong from the get-go.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really disagree with anything that Mary said there. I'm going to be honest. I really can't. Paul, mate, Dave and Tim looked on it as a good week. I couldn't help but look at it from Mary sort of stole my thunder a little bit. The last time we won in the league at home was Bournemouth. This season we've taken 1 point from 9 at home. Is there? I mean, people will always try and look at it from their own sort of perspective in terms of how they see it going. But let's be honest, Paul, mate. It's 15th in the league. Still not won a game at home this season. Not won a game in 6 at home in the league. And we've got a serious issue with creating chances at home, mate. What's happened to Old Trafford, Paul? Ollie's saying that it's because there's no fans in the stadium.
Massive dish. You know what? I think that does play a big part, though. No fans saying, because I'll tell you what, when I seen the Pogba and Cavani coming on in 70 minutes, imagine Old Trafford, 75,000 people there seeing them two all coming on. It would have lifted the roof and it would have lifted the players. And I think that was the damp squid of it. Them two coming on to no one. And it kills momentum when big players like that come on. Cavani's first game, Old Trafford would have gone on fire with him coming on. But for me, big disappointment. You got to kick on from PSG. And for me, I think it showed a bit naive from Ola. You see this the way Chelsea set up 5 at the back. You knew they were going defensive. So let's switch. Don't wait till 17 minutes. You got to do it earlier. Matter and James aren't going to create shit. You know they're sitting back. So let's bring some creative players on earlier. Let's go for it. It's like we was happy for a draw, but for me, it was a big disappointment. Boring game. Rashford had to take his chance. You got people go on about, is this world-class player? Mate, I'm not seeing nothing of him to be compared to world-class players at the minute, because them one-on-ones, you got to take him. You got to finish him.
Here's a
and for
question.
me, it was a damn squid.
Yeah, I mean, I'll come to you, Dave, mate. Paul's just said it there then. He's talking about Rashford not being world-class. Do we have any world-class players in this team?
Bruno's world-class, for sure. I think Tellez might be world-class. That performance that Tellez put in the week was superb.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen him start again. Again, I'm not arguing any of the points that the rest of the panel's made so far. You're all right. The team selection was highly questionable.
Hang on a minute, Dave. We can't all be seen to be agreeing. That's just boring YouTube, isn't it?
I tell you one thing,
We've got to start the odd argument here.
Bruno this season ain't world class. Bruno this season not world class. He's disappointed me, man. He's got to get back into the same he was last season. For this season, I think Bruno's been poor. I don't know one game where he took control. Like last season.
I think we've lost complete shape.
Let's come back to Rashford.
Touch on Rashford, Dave. Fire away.
He was so bad off the left in the second half of last season after lockdown. We all saw it. It was horrible. It was like black and white between what he had done this time last year, October, November, before his injury. What I saw, especially since they started playing him up front in a pair up top, I see him attacking more. I see him running at people more. I see him making killer passes more. He's not quite at it yet, but I'm seeing the positives of him coming back to that form. He's not there. There's no question about it. The decision-making in his final ball isn't there yet. But I see the signs, and I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm starting to see those positives where he looks more confident. He looks like he's playing his game again, albeit not quite there yet.
Yeah. I mean, Tim, mate, I touched on Rashford there. There's a few players that are nowhere near where he was last season, mate. Martial's been non-existent this season. He got sent off, I know, but in the games he has played, he has been nowhere near. Bruno has been not to the standards, and everyone knows how much I rate Bruno. Is this always going to be potential FC, Tim? Because that's all anyone ever says. No one ever comes, do they? Yeah. Say again, Said. What did you say then, mate?
That was a new one. That's a new one. Potential FC.
Potential FC. That's what it is. I'm digging it. Clip it. It's mine. Madrid United. Copyright that one. Said's got freestyle. I'm having potential. Tim, mate. I mean, I hate that word, mate. I think that's what Arsenal used for their youth system for about 2 decades, and none of them ever made it, mate. It's a joke, pal. But are we ever going to get? And does this all come down to Ollie now? Because we're all talking about the selection, the starting lineup. I think we've got potential world-class players, and there it is again. Yep. But you know what? Half of them were sat on the bench yesterday, mate.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, we took a step last season with some of the performances, right? Rashford, Martial, they all those two for sure stepped up. Bruno came in. I think you're going to get a bit of a bump when he comes in from Portugal. Teams aren't going to have found him out yet. They're not going to have figured him out. And then once they play him and they get in the film room and they start scouting him, you're going to have now they're getting into him. They're getting into him in those positions. We talked about the amount of players that are getting around him. They got to find other ways to free him up in pockets of space and get him in positions where he can operate. But in terms of everyone else, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pogba, he's slow start to the season. Van de Beek we haven't seen. Dave touched on the dip in form in Rashford. Maguire's form dip, Wan-Bissaka. I think that's part of that's even more. What's the word I'm looking for? Disappointing for me is not necessarily that performances haven't improved or kicked on from last season yet. The worrying part to me was the dip in form that we saw from a lot of those players early on in the season and towards the end of last season. And whether it was fatigue or whatever it was, I just feel that I said this a couple weeks ago or last week, that if for Solskjaer to survive and to be able to really stamp things on this team, he's got to get short-term results. So whether that means that he needs to temporarily change formations and go with something else to get his world-class players into, second gear, because right now everyone's stuck in first gear, it seems like, apart from maybe Paris and, a couple of good performances. But yeah, something's got to give. Something has to give for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to touch, Saeed, I'll bring you into it there, mate. I mean, Donny van der Beek, mate. We spoke.
Free Donny van der Beek. Free him, man.
Yeah, we spoke on Rance's show before, and it's just like, I have no idea what the guy has to do. I don't know why he's not playing. I heard what Ollie said, and I came out on Twitter and said it. His interview, he said it's easy to be a fan. I said, you cannot bring the fans into it, Ollie. I'm sorry. I don't say it's easy to be a fan. Do you know what I mean? We're the ones who are being forced to pay 15 quid to watch a game, and we're not seeing the player that you spent half our budget on this summer at all. Why are we not getting this on? If you've got a problem with coaching these players, then you know what? I would understand it. But we know you're not going to come out and say it, so it's clear that there's a problem behind the scenes. So don't come out and say it's easy to be a fan and say who should and who shouldn't be playing. You know what I mean? We've got to sit through this. Our team has the biggest wage bill in the country, and we're 15th in the league.
You know what, man? I think he's done something. I think he's either, I know Davey's going to Amsterdam, but I think maybe has Donny van der Beek not brought on the goods in it. You know what I mean? Maybe Ollie said to him, "Listen, mate, I thought you had that little order for me. You know what I mean? Where's the shipment gone? You know what I mean? Where's the good stuff gone? I don't know, mate. It has to be something. You know what I mean?" Yeah, seriously, man. He's either done that or he's either our Dutch mascot now. He's probably our Dutch mascot. He's our like I don't know, his coaching staff. Maybe he's trying to teach only the Dutch way of playing football. Listen, man, I don't know what's going on, mate. Because for me, yeah, what's the worst thing about it all is Mason Greenwood has done all this stuff behind the scenes, and I'm not picking out Mason Greenwood here, but he's done some of the stuff behind the scenes, and he's literally got ahead of Donny van der Beek starting in terms of going on the pitch. How mad is that? We're looking to win the game, yeah. And I know he's only got 3 substitutions, yeah. But what's alarming is he put 2 substitutions at once. Both of them at once. For me, I don't get that, I understand, yeah, you need a goal. So, okay, let's try Cavalli first. Then, yeah, you assess the game after that and think, okay, how can I use the second substitution? Right, Pogba makes sense. But then to bring the third one, I'm bringing Mason Greenwood instead of Donny van der Beek. I'm not too sure, man. Like I said to you, it's kind of bizarre, mate. Like you said, Adam, it's very, very bizarre. And I'm just wondering, yeah, is this going to hit his confidence already? Before he's even kicked the ball, yeah, is Donny van der Beek going to be shot with confidence? That's the worrying thing for me. I don't know what's going to happen until he breaks me. If we don't play against RB Leipzig, yeah, then I'm telling you now, something's gone wrong, mate. Something's gone wrong behind the scenes because he's fit to play. He's not injured. He's played against Dutch for Germany, scored a goal. You know what I mean? So what's the answer then? Why is he not allowed to play? Like, seriously, man. Can someone tell me a reason why Donny van der Beek cannot play? What you can do is, yeah, either drop McTominay, then put Bruno Fernandes in the number 8 position, or you play a 5 at the back and then you put them all, incorporate them. Either that, yeah, or again, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is playing safe, 2 midfield pivots that can defend, Fred and McTominay who can sit back and shield the defense here, and then we don't go as much forward going forward. So it's either tit for tat, really.
You hit the nail on the head there,
football. Yeah, but it's tit for tat. You know what I mean? You either go attacking football, or we don't. You know what I mean? Or we can see less. But for me, the Man United DNA, mate, has always been attack, mate. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of all people, should know that. Surely
The thing is where you can bring Van de Beek into this team, which I don't understand he hasn't done so far, is where we need to break teams down. He can play. I would play Van de Beek beside Paul Pogba in that deeper role, because Van de Beek can get you out. He's good on the ball. He covers a lot of ground, so we can get forward and operate with Bruno and work off of. You can still pivot, work off Pogba and get forward, but he can still cover ground to get back to protect the back four if he has to. We don't need, it made sense for me yesterday to have Bruno start as the number 10 and go with Fred McTominay. But in those other games against Brighton and Palace, where those teams are going to sit back on us, You can have him operate with Bruno higher up the pitch.
I agree with that.
Position.
But, I mean, Mary, Saeed's got his tag with freestyle football. I'm claiming the potential FC, but there's also a virus FC with this, because how many players have we brought to this club, and it has just been complete meltdown. The potential of the players that we bought, there's that word again. The signings, I think, have been great. You know what? Van der Beek, Pogba, these signings are not garbage signings, but what happens? What goes on? What happens at this football club? Is it the training ground? There's no fans there now, so there's no one getting at the players. There's no one digging out players when they're playing bad. Yeah, that can work in your favour as well for some players, but the modern day footballer, I'm going out on a limb and saying there ain't no, from the days when they were wearing this t-shirt, you know what I mean? Them days and that character of a player are long gone out of football right now. But what happens to these players? I don't know, Mary. It is baffling to me how we can destroy players' careers the way we do. It's like a virus is there. As soon as they get there, just everything that they had and the reason we bought them, we just never see it.
Or we see it in they have an initial, like Bruno, like Maguire, they have initial couple of months where they're superb and they're carrying that form from their, the previous team. And then after a couple of months, it's like it's trained out of them. It's like it's mentally sucked out of them. Whatever kind of talent they have, it's like a poison chalice. They come to United and they lose the ability to even play football. I mean, we saw Alexis Sanchez, like literally couldn't trap a ball. And he was the best player in the league 6 months before he came to us. It's just unbelievable. It's the same sometimes with some of the managers. Jose, he only won the league the season before he came to us and had a complete meltdown when he came to United. One of the first clubs that he's not won anything at. The league won 2 small trophies, but he won the league everywhere else except until he came to United. So it's just, we're a poison chalice at the minute for players and managers. And Donny van der Beek, for me, I don't think Ollie wanted to sign him. I don't think he was an Ollie signing. I think it was, we signed him, he wanted Grealish, we wouldn't pay the money, we were penny pinching, and there's Donny for half the price with Van der Sar pushing it, and we got him in easy for less money. And I don't think Ollie wanted to sign him, because nobody will tell me that Donny van der Beek isn't better than half those 3/4 of those midfielders in there. And his performances when he has come on, he has come off the bench, he started in the League Cup games, he was superb. So you're telling me McTominay and Fred are going to start a dire Paul Pogba, who was stinking the place out. Even Bruno Fernandes, who, like Paul said, hasn't been great this season. He really hasn't, as much as I love him. He's had poor performances. And you're telling me Donny van der Beek can start and doesn't get picked over all of them, because his performances have been better than all our midfielders so far this season. So for me, he's not an Ollie signing. I don't believe he wanted to sign him.
I mean, Paul, mate, if you look at it, there, I just said it then. Mary said it. It seems to be any qualities that we originally bought a player for get trained out of them. I mean, Donny's not even getting a chance to show any qualities, mate. So I think we're getting worse 100%. And worse, pal.
Like Mary said, mate, Donny want an Ollie signing. Simple as that. But for me, the guy's a young kid. And look at what confidence are you giving this kid when you're leaving Ajax playing the best football of your life and you come to us and you can't get in that shower of shit. What confidence is this doing for this young kid? You know what I mean? So his head's gone already. You know he's going to wake up tomorrow morning. He can't be asked going Carrington train. You know his head's not in training tomorrow. Like half the players who turn up, you can tell Ollie has just got no enthusiasm. They don't look forward to training tomorrow. None of them can be asked. And that's a problem. Why sign him if you're not going to play him? This is a young kid who had potential. And then you're just wiping the confidence completely from him. We all seen the pictures yesterday with him in the stand. He looked deflated. He looked, what the fuck am I doing here? Is Dan James really starting in front of me? Is 91-year-old Matt really playing right wing over than me? You know, what the fuck are we doing?
I'm telling you.
And then he can't even get on sub. He can't even get brought on sub. Like they picked up there. Greenwood, come on. No, we didn't need it. We needed someone who can create something. Greenwood can't create. He just gets the ball and shoots, whether he's at halfway line, whether he's got the ball in De Gea's box, he'll shoot. That's all he does. He shoots at the minute. It's just shoot. We needed someone to create a chance. We needed someone to create a chance for Cavani or Rashford. We needed someone to create a chance. And Mason Greenwood wanted the player to come on and create the chance. Donny was, and we left him sitting in the stands. What confidence is that giving a young kid? So even now when if he starts on Tuesday, Wednesday when we play, his head's gone. His confidence has gone. Ollie's killed him. Ollie has killed him. We've got a new Luke Chadwick. He's a new Luke Chadwick. I'm telling you, his confidence is going to be gone completely.
That's a clip.
I'm telling you, bro. He's gone, bro. He's going down the Luke Chadwick stands in and out, man.
Mate, I mean, Luke Chadwick got game time, Paul. Oh, Paul, your mic's gone off, mate. You've unplugged yourself, Paul, mate, somehow. You got off, mate. I can't hear you.
I hear you.
His rants has pulled the plug. Oh, God. God, Paul, you there again, mate? Are you still with me? Yeah, he's got
Can you hear me?
Yeah, got you, mate.
Yeah.
We're back.
Let's see how our Luke goes. I tell you, you know what? The way Ollie keeps chilling him, mate, he's going to come a Luke Chadwick. He's just going to be a squad player, and he's going to offer nothing to this team. But the guy's got potential. But if you keep killing him, he's going to be a Luke Chadwick, just a squad player, nothing special, nothing happening for him. For me, he needs to be given a chance. He's not getting no chance in here.
Oh, mate, if that was one thing, not getting a player like Van der Beek on. But, Dave, the player that was playing, who I've had many of Twitter arguments with a few people over the last 24 hours with, was a certain Dan James. I said at the start, when the lineup came out, mate, I was like, Ollie, what are you doing? Some people have got it in their heads that Dan James offers us shape, offers us defensive abilities. He offers us nothing going forward. He doesn't defend well. I don't know where that myth came from. I do not know where that came from at all. Rashford's a better defender than him, in my opinion. But honestly, mate, as one of my front three players, I want him to be, you know what, doing what you're paid to do. Go and create something, which he does not. So like Paul said, are we destroying these players before they even get on the pitch? Because Van der Beek's mindset must be thinking, like Paul said there, I'm thinking, how the hell am I not ahead of this kid?
Well, you guys know that I have a soft spot for Ajax. I watch a lot of Ajax. I've been watching Ajax for many years now.
You're moving there, so we know you got a soft spot.
And I love this kid. I love Donny van der Beek in a way that I can't really describe. The kid's special, and he's not getting a chance right now. And the only thing that I can say about Dan James, and I think you guys will appreciate this, is that when they say that, oh, well, he brings shape. Well, yeah, it's because he doesn't move.
Yeah.
He's just sat there on the touchline, not moving, just running up and running down and running up and running down, and that's it. So of course he's adding shape because he's not moving. So,
I mean, Tim, mate, talking about defensive abilities of him, we're only discussing Dan James here because there's no reason why this kid should have been playing at all. But if you're going to struggle to find it, but it was a moment in my watch along. I don't expect anyone to trail through 2 hours of streaming of a 0-0 game, so don't go trying it, people. I'm not. But there was a moment in there.
That's what's
wonderfully entertaining.
Yeah, just flick to about 1 hour 30 of it. That's when Alfie's eating his crisp. But that's your exciting highlight. Yeah. Anyway, there was a moment when Havertz was running through the midfield, and Dan James ran through him. I don't know how. He was in front of him. The ball was there. He missed the ball. He missed the player. It was like he was a ghost. I mean, he offers absolutely nothing. So my question to you, Tim, is Ollie lashing out here at the players? Is he lashing out at the hierarchy above, saying, this is what you've given me? Like Mary said, like Paul said, Van der Beek cannot be an Ollie signing for this because a player for that, we spent more than half of our summer budget on one man. Yeah. The first player we bought in, and he's not kicked a ball in anger. He's not started one Premier League game, mate. He's not started one. Dan James has got more game time than Van der Beek. I feel like this argument for shape over. You know what? There's a load of agendas and a load of favouritism with certain players going around this fan base at the moment. I feel if this is the state that United fan base has come to, Paul's getting a refill. That's what that was, people. Then we can give up now, Tim, mate, can't we? We can just give up now, surely. If this is what it's come to, if our expectations have gone down to this level, then I've totally given up, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it has to change. I think the Dan James argument for him bringing shape is ridiculous. I mean, he played in that formation in the 4-2-3-1. His job is to create width. His job is to create width out wide for us, take people on and stretch out the back four so that our number 10 can play as close to our number 9 as possible and operate. He doesn't offer that. Like he doesn't when he gets in behind people, he's great on the counter attack. He's got pace and we've seen him. But even now, like, I mean, that first few run of games he had last season where he was decent on the counter, his decision making in the final third is just, it's gotten worse. So that needs to improve. First of all, the whole I think between him and Greenwood, neither one of them offers us anything defensively in terms of tracking back. And we saw Greenwood defensive responsibilities. I think it was against Spurs. And he was in the same boat. So neither one of them really offers that. And yeah, I think one of the things with Solskjaer is he's so set on the 4-2-3-1. He's so set on his shape. And when you hear him, when we signed Van de Beek, him and both the player were talking about how he wanted him playing higher up the pitch, as I already touched on, outside of the opposition box. And then yesterday, he made a comment after the game that, the last time we were in Paris, we had a bit of a dip of form, and that was where that terrible run started with the Arsenal game when they came back. So it sounds like he's just being overly cautious in terms of rotating the players, because he did reference that after the game that there's more rotation to come because, I'm worried about a dip, the same type of dip that took place after Paris. But it's a bit of a different scenario. Like we haven't even got out of first gear. We were flying after that game, and I don't think any one of us would have seen that coming. So like we need to kick on. We really need to kick on. And yesterday, yeah, he got it wrong, and things need to progress.
He got it.
I mean, before Dave, just for you jump in there, Dave. Yeah. Sorry, mate. I was just saying some people there saying Van de Beek and James can't be compared because they play different positions. I don't know if you watch Dutch football, but Van de Beek can play anywhere across the middle, sit back. If you don't watch how Van de Beek plays, then you can't compare. Well, Dan James was in a position Van de Beek can do with his eyes shut, in my opinion, from what I've watched of Van de Beek. So
if we're playing Juan Mata on the right, you can or out wide. You can play Van de Beek out wide.
Yeah, you could. Yeah.
And he did that for Ajax. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dave, but he would drift wide for Ajax all the time.
He would drift wide into that channel on the edge of the box, even when he was playing centrally. Yeah. So he can absolutely play off the right, probably a little bit more effectively off the right than off of the left, but neither here nor there. I want to touch on something. In my opinion, there is no such thing as an Ali signing. There was no such thing as a Jose signing, and there was no such thing as a Moyes signing, and there was no such thing as a Van Gaal signing. That's the structure of this football club now. It's normal in European football for you to hire a manager and to give that manager the control over the purse strings, or at least tell them, okay, here's a budget, spend it however you want. Our football club doesn't work like that. There is no such thing as an Ali signing. He gives them a list. We get the D-rated version of whatever was on that list every single year. And it doesn't matter if it's Ali or any other manager. Look at the history of it. It's been happening with every manager. So we can talk about Ali and it's reasonable. But let's not confuse the fact that this was his signing or there's no such thing. He doesn't get a signing. Ed Woodward makes the signings. All of them.
Yeah. I mean, going off what Dave said then, Side, mate, does that completely quash the argument that these players have got play clauses in their contracts? Because I think that pretty much does kill it then, doesn't it? He's only just fighting back. Is that all any manager's ever going to do under this regime?
That's right.
I don't know if he should fight back, mate. You know what I mean? With the CV he's got, you know what I mean? No disrespect to Ollie, but I think what you know what I mean? I just don't know, mate. For me, then you've got the silence and make good use of the silence, and you know what I mean? If you can't get the silence that you want, make good use of what you've got. That's the old saying, isn't it? You know what I mean? And I just feel like, and I keep saying Pochettino because I just look at Pochettino and think, would he make better of these players? Like, and I really would, man. Would he be putting Van der Beek on the bench? You know what I mean? Would he be putting? People can argue Pogba or whatnot, but would he put your best players on the bench? For me, no. Simple as that. You know what I mean? What would he be playing Mata sometimes? You know what I mean? Game after game on the right. You know what I mean? Daniel James on the left hand side when they've got better quality on the bench. You know what I mean? I just don't know, mate. And I'm just thinking to the argument of silence or whatnot. Like Ollie, for me, if there's a clear direction under himself and he wanted Sancho really, I'm just thinking, why would he not go to the board and say, you know what, I need this silence to help in my system? Like that's would be the question for me. Then have the board look at it and thought, you know what, we're not really truly backing this guy because we don't see a long-term vision. So why have you got him as manager then if you don't see him as a long-term manager? We need to see long-term success here. We've had manager after manager after manager and a long-term success. If you're not going to, I always said it, Adam, and I've said it from day one, I'm not the biggest fan of Ollie, but if you're going to do something, back him. But
they're not going
make him look good.
They're never going to. They don't back anyone.
They did the same thing to Mourinho. They threw him under the bus after he signed an extension.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like the criticism is fair. The in-game criticism is fair. The team selection criticism is fair. But what's not fair is to put it on Ollie as if it was his signing. He wanted Greenwood, he didn't get him, he got Van der Beek. He wanted Sancho, he didn't get anybody. He wanted Reguilon, he got Tellez. He wanted a center back, and he got nothing.
Yeah, but the only rebuttal to that is the practice. Everyone's forgotten about the Glazers, though. You know what I mean? Everyone's forgotten. Yeah. Where's the hashtag Glazers out now? Yeah. Like, I've always said it from day one. The hashtag Glazers out will only work if people keep doing it aggressively time and time after again. Sure. Everyone's forgotten about it already. But the problem is with that, though.
Right, because we're sitting here arguing about Ollie. I know, this is my whole point.
Yeah, but the problem with that is, though, the Glazers, we're not in control of.
Too busy spending money on Tom Brady. That's where their money's gone.
No. There you go, then.
That's not how that works.
Yeah.
But the problem is, though, have we got control of the Glazers?
Yeah,
no.
Well, we'll talk about there is detail. Yeah, sorry, mate. There is details on what the Glazers are trying to do, and the Glazers. The way they look at it, I'll touch on that in a minute because that's an interesting subject, actually. I mean, Mary, Brian Toll says, cheers, Brian, mate. He says, Ollie and the coach are the problem. Simple. I've been a United fan for 30 years and I've never known it to be as bad as this. Ollie looks lost. Yeah, we can say that the signings haven't been Ollie signings. We can say he hasn't been backed, but like Dave said, like pretty much all of us said,
spent 300 million, though.
Surely this...
Spent 300 million, guys. It spent 300 million. I think we need to put that in as well in there.
This team isn't 15th in the league, Mary. It's not. And don't get me wrong. If we win our game in hand, 7-0, we go to 4th. That's how crazy this league table is. So I'm not going to get carried away. We're 3 points behind 4th. So, and we've got a game in hand. So in real terms, it's not that bad. But I think the issue with a lot of fans, Mary, it's the style of play now. You know what I mean? We can get to 4th place. I know that we could easily just drop away again. If you want to play safe football all the time like Ollie did yesterday, expect to be 5th and 6th in the league every single season. That's not going to win you a title. It's really not. People are saying people are blaming the creative players, saying they're trying to do things that they shouldn't. Keep it simple. Well, keeping it simple gets you games like yesterday. I'm sorry. It just does not work. But it all comes down to the coaching again, Mary. It really does. There is another manager going to get the balance right? You don't know, do you?
Because we had Jose, who won everything. We had Van Gaal, who's the most experienced. At what stage you have to say, back the manager and look, we beat PSG, so you can't go from a great tactical, and that was tactical, that was Ollie and the coaches. That. So you can't then go from that to, okay, he messed up yesterday and he got it wrong. I think right now it's too soon to be saying get him out or get someone else in. Because really, I don't believe anyone. Maybe Poch would do a little bit better, but is he going to win the league? No. He's absolutely not. Is he going to be backed? Absolutely
not. Is he not better than this, though, Mary? Is he not be better than this? I'm not too sure. I'm just thinking is he going to be better than this, though?
But it's never like it's the same. It was a little bit better under Jose Mourinho initially. Then it got worse than this. It was a little bit better with Van Gaal, and then it became, oh Christ, that was horrendous. Moyes, I just don't count him because that was just shit show all round. But like, for me, you can't keep sacking the managers because it's just nothing ever changes. I say, give him at least till the end of the season, see what we can do. Like Dave said, he didn't get one of his targets, absolutely not one. We played 5 Premier League games. We are only 2 points off fourth. The league, not that I'm saying we're going to challenge for the league, we're absolutely not, but it's so mental. You could end up second or third at this rate. And
I know, it's bonkers.
If you get we've seen with Ali, he can get a run going, he can. But as well, he needs to pick the right team selection. He absolutely does. People should be getting in on their performances, not on their name, or not because Ollie is trying to send a message to whoever. You do that off the pitch and do that somewhere else, not on the pitch, because we need points. We need to win. And we've a massive game on Wednesday night against a really, really difficult team. Again, we probably need... at least a point from, because we need about 4 points from those 2 Leipzig games. So for playing at home Wednesday night, we need a win possibly to get out of the group. So I say agree. Give him time for now, but he has to improve absolutely, because yesterday it was not good enough. It was not near good enough.
He's got to get short-term results to carry his vision.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take a hazard a guess here, but I think, Tim, you turned your microphone to Darth Vader mode, mate, because we've been hearing you breathe.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't see anyone else's mic close enough to the face, but it was quite funny. A few of the comments picked up on it as well.
How's that? Better?
Yeah, that was
it. One of the kids came firing in here, so...
Yeah, no, don't worry about it, pal. As long as you're okay and you're not going to collapse on us, mate, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
Don't do that on live show.
All the heavy breathing because of the Ole talk.
Yeah, Paul, I'll come to you, mate. I mean, we're talking about managers and other managers who look at the game differently, and we're talking about Dan James a minute ago. I mean, everyone's ranting and raving, waxing lyrical about Marcelo Bielsa. This guy wanted Dan James, mate. Are we doing something wrong here? Is it all down to coaching when you've got someone like him wanting a player like Dan James and the price he wanted him for? Bielsa goes out deliberately and buys players to fit his style of play. Are we just buying whoever's available, mate, like the others said? Is it just who's available there and just bring him in so it looks like we're doing something, Paul?
I don't know. I've got to disagree. For me, yeah. If we're buying players for the sake of it, they won't play. Look at Donna. He's not playing because Ollie didn't want him. Ollie starts Dan James, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka. He starts the players that we've signed. So for me, I think for Dan, I think that sends a clear indication. These are the players Ollie wanted. This was the path he wanted to take us down. And for me, it's not good enough. What we need now is a lift. As Saeed said, Poch, man, let's fucking go for it, man. I know I keep going on,
that's it.
I want the lift, bro. I want the lift. We need the lift. Is anyone confident next week? Every week we don't know where we're going. We don't know what team's coming out. We don't know what tactics are coming out. For me, my faith in knowledge just trip and go. Yeah, that's the one. But I think, you know what? We all want the lift.
Mauricio Pochettino.
You know that this is exactly what the Glazers want. I'm going to finish with that one.
Let's go just get into it. He's sat there. Let's snap him, bro. Look what he done with Spurs and that squad. Let's go for it. We've got nothing to lose. Ollie, I don't have no confidence in Ollie. Phelan, is he even still at the club? I don't remember last time I seen him. Is he still there?
No, he sits there.
I don't even know where Phelan's gone.
He's a dinosaur.
Oh, man.
Mary talking it there. I mean,
let's get the lift we need.
Over 500 in with us in the room, people. Do give the video a like. Do give the video a share as well, people, while you're at it. Thanks for supporting us, as always. To finish up, I think it's probably the best person to start with this is Dave and his knowledge of franchise football, because this to me looks like the Glazers aren't really bothered. The Glazers don't want a pitfall. The Glazers don't want a relegation. They don't see it right for me to actually for it all to be taken away with relegation. We all know how franchise works in America with American football and the NFL, and they don't get punished. There is no punishment in that league for me for being crap. That's how it looks from the outside. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm all up for being told right, but you get the best pick from the drafts if you're shocking.
Yep.
And the money always stays the
incentive.
same.
Yeah,
Franchise football looks like this elite. It's very elitism that United are spearheading, and Ed Woodward is spearheading this drive to try and get to a Super League. Because for me, United, I think, have given up on this. I think United as a club have given up on ever winning the league again.
They have.
That's how it looks to me. It just looks completely down and done. But, I mean, Dave, it does look like we are trying to push towards this. And I think we're using the climate to try and force it even more.
They do this every manager, and now they're using the pandemic as an excuse to do what they always do. They have turned listen, I've said it 100 times already. We can talk about tactics and we can talk about team selection, and it doesn't matter because they are playing a game and they have spun all of us. They want us to turn against the manager. They wanted us to turn against Mourinho. It worked. Well, guess what happens when you turn against Mourinho? You sack him. You've got to change the backroom staff. You've got to change the players in the team because the new manager doesn't like the players in the team and they want to play his way like we're talking about with Bielsa. So then what happens? Well, then you got to go and sell a bunch of players, and then you've got to say, well, you need to give the new manager time because he needs to bed in and he needs to get his squad ready. And then 12 months later, they don't back him. And we're back in the same position again. So we can all sit here and talk about Ollie out, and we can argue about his tactics, and we can argue about his team selections, but it makes no difference. They're winning. The more we talk about Ollie, the more we turn on Ollie, the more they're winning. They are beating us at their game, and we're falling right into their hands.
Yeah, but I think that's why. I think that's part of being a football fan, isn't it? I think it's a reactionary sport. I think sometimes you've got to find out the solution.
Of course. And that's reasonable, but we got to be smarter than that.
Glazers have got to want us to win. Glazers don't want us to lose. They don't want us going against the man. They want us to win. We win, they get big dollar.
You're wrong.
They don't want to see us lose. No way.
They want to win as well.
This is going to be interesting.
They want to make money.
No, they want to win. They want to win.
They just took $20 million out in dividends. They don't care if we win. They don't care if we win the Champions League. They don't care if we win the Premier League. They don't care if we finish as long as they can take their dividends.
What they do care about is getting that top four, mate, and making sure that the sponsorship stays with.
And we
Adidas.
got it last year, and look what happened. They didn't back them. Well, of course, because they got what they wanted.
We knew that was coming. Yeah, we knew that was coming.
They wanted, and then they say, "Oh, too bad."
I think be interesting to see what the new shirt sponsor is next year and how long the deal is. Anyway, put it that way. That's going to be very, very interesting.
I just want to say, I want to touch on what Dave said. I'm not too sure if they don't want to win. You know what I mean? I still think there's an element of winning. It's how we win it. I think that's more the issue. I think Man United fans want to do traditional, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, legendary football club. Let's do it the right way, build from the top. But I feel like football has changed now. The evolution has changed. And for me, I wouldn't mind sacking Ole now, bring in Pochettino, and then we win a couple of cups and here and there. We go for about 3 seasons. Another manager comes in. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that, man, because at the end of the day, you see what Chelsea have done. Chelsea have done it well. You know what I mean? There is a side to it where Chelsea have done it well. Look at manager after manager, still trophies there. I feel like they've got a bad manager in Lampard now. But if they go and get Pochettino in, then we're stuck with Ole. And it's like Ryan Giggs gets a job. And it's like same over again.
I'll tell you this. I'm going to come around. I'm going to go around everyone and ask this question. Saeed touched on something there. Actually, I want to just get your opinions on everybody. Just a quick one there, everyone. That is Dave's normal voice. That's not Dave shouting. He is that loud all the time. Believe me, that's just what he's like.
Americans are just loud. It's just how I live over here, and Americans are louder than.
Yes,
you can imagine.
Saeed touched on it. Saeed touched on it there. Paul, I'll come to you first on this one, mate. Actually, Saeed touched on the Chelsea sort of tactic there with managers changing managers. Are we now at a stage where the players are geared for manager changes all the time? And we're seeing this issue now, I think, with Pep Guardiola. I don't think these managers. I don't think these players are on board with Pep Guardiola constantly. It's good for 3 seasons, mate. You get behind the system and the process, but I just feel like it's not only managers now. It feels like the players are in this same mold now, Paul. Are the players sort of expecting a manager to be 2 or 3 years, and then it's like, what's this guy saying now? I'm sick of this. It's the same old thing. It's boring. It's not winning now, so it's not exciting. I can't get on board with it because you can't win every season. And if it's the same tactics, the players just seem to be down in tools for everyone.
Yeah, to be fair, 1 minute, 2 minutes. To be fair, you know what?
Clip.
That's for me, David Lloyd. The new classes go on. Get uploaded on the app at 8 o'clock, so I've got to set the alarm so I can book in David Lloyd. Otherwise, it's a nightmare. I can never get in.
Paul, you legend, mate. What happened to the rants, Paul? We've got David Lloyd ringing you now, man. Come on.
The show's off.
Telling me the classes are updated. Telling you.
Go on, Paul.
You know what? It's modern day football now. That's it. Forget the Fergers, forget the Wengers. It's gone, mate. Modern day football is success. Yeah. If you don't succeed in 2 seasons, 3 seasons, you're gone. Simple. That's the word we live in. Not even in football, everyday life now. You've got to succeed. People want money, they want success, and they want it quick. If they don't get it, chop and change. That's the way modern football is now. Look at Barcelona. Yeah. Look at the biggest clubs. No one has long-term managers anymore. No. And for us, I think that's the way. I think that's the way people got to look at it now. We've all forget the Fergie. We want him here for 20. It's not happening. It's not. So while it's not working, let's chop and change. You got to keep doing it till you get it right. That's how football is. You see, that's how crazy football is now. Chop and change. That's every club does it. No club now, even the biggest clubs in the world, do not stick with managers. They don't. And that's the way it's sad. It's sad because we love the Fergie battles. We love the Fergie and Wenger battles. They're gone. You're not seeing none of that ever again. You're not, because it's different managers for different teams every 2-3 seasons. Everyone's chopping and changing.
It's okay to chop and change. It's okay to chop and change, but the teams that, when you look at what's going on at Chelsea and how Said was talking about them being able to chop and change, it's okay to chop and change if you have that structure in place that's above the manager.
Yeah.
So that when you bring in
the
problem is where you're chopping and changing, and the people above you are chopping and changing. Like, why are we chopping and changing? It's rinse, wash, and repeat with our owners and with the board. They're chopping and changing because this is what they do, so that they can take money out of the club, get us into the Champions League, have the axe fall on the manager and kick them to the curb.
Yep.
I think that's why as well.
That's the difference. Is when you look at what happened at Liverpool when they brought in Klopp, they had that structure ahead of them where they brought in the new director of football. They had a vision, and Brendan Rodgers went because he didn't want to work with the director of football, but they brought Klopp in, a guy who they knew would work with him. So when you have that harmony and that mesh between the managers that come in, it's great. But
the other problem is people run the football operation as opposed to us who have a bunch of guys from the city who want to run the football side of it, and it's crazy.
Anyway, breaking news: Adam's made more signings than Ed Woodward has. We've got another member in. We've got Dave. Dave, he's been on the show before. My man Dave over there. I don't know. Is Northern Ireland in lockdown as well? I'm not too sure.
So, yeah.
Is that in lockdown as well? I'm not sure. Dave, hope you're okay there, mate.
They're back in the UK. They're with us.
Yeah.
But if you want Pochettino's always worked with a director of football.
But he's demanding that though. He's demanding that though.
And he needs to have it because
that's why he's not coming
without one. Yeah. There's no point having him because he'll fail like the rest before him. But if he comes with his director of football, then he might have a chance. But otherwise, forget about him because it's going to be the same. And if we're like Chelsea do it, but then we've done it as well, but it's failed. So the model at United has failed. And what's the difference? A director of football, like Tim said, they have one. City have one. Barcelona, that's why we're doing it. But
it's just changed with modern day football. Modern day football is complete. Now, look at United. You're never going to get a United or Liverpool back in the 80s or United. You dominate the league every year. That's gone now. You're not going to get. Look at City. You thought they was going to dominate under Pep. Now they're falling. You think Liverpool are going to dominate under Klopp? It's going to fall. There's no domination like it was back in the day when you stuck with a manager when there's big domination.
Why it's so important. That's why it's so important to have that structure in place, right? Because you're not going to get that massive regime like stationary regime that you had with Ferguson and Wenger that have a system stabilized. And so if you don't have that ethos in place when the new manager comes in, you're just asking for problems. You don't just back a manager with money. That's why it drives me nuts when I hear United supporters saying, well, they've spent this much money. You don't back them with just the funds. There's a reason why other teams wouldn't pay 80 million pounds for Harry Maguire. There's a reason. There's a reason why City had the funds to do it, and Pep Guardiola said, we're not spending that type of money on him, right? So when you're constantly under-delivering and there's chaos that you create in the transfer market every summer, just imagine if that's what we see at the club in the transfer market, just imagine what it's like inside the club when it just internal daily dealings.
It's really easy to say that somebody is failing at their job when their boss is inept. If your boss was inept, you'd look bad at your job also.
True.
But maybe then Man United would never ever reach where they want to reach. Then maybe Man United will become a club where, you know what, then if David has that kind of point of view, and I have a point of view where, that the manager's wrong, then maybe there's going to be a gap where Man United never challenge for the league ever again then. Maybe that's a gap then.
You're both right. Saeed, you're both right.
Look at it on the other side. Look on the other side of it. Look at the financial state of Barcelona now after doing what we said our club should do. Go out and get the targets you want. But look at that wage bill and the structure that Barcelona are at. Now Barcelona are on the brink of the abyss right now financially. Mm-hmm. It is I don't know if you guys seen the mess that they're in and what all the news that's been reported with them. Them and Real Madrid now, them days are gone. I don't see them teams ever winning the Champions League. Or not ever, but definitely not in the next few years again. Until everything is broken down and restructured again, I just don't see the mega powerhouses ever dominating again now. I think there's only one, really, and that's because they're run... well, we can all argue. I think Bayern Munich are the perfect example of how a club should be run. Football people in football positions, talking football sense, and running it financially to football related. Say again, Paul, mate.
They play in a league what no one cares. No, I never ever look at German football results. Champions League, yeah, but they play in a league what no one cares. It's the English league, the Spanish, and the Italian. The Italians, they're the three big leagues. No one cares about Bayern Munich.
We're suffering though. That's the problem.
Do
you know what that is? Do you know what that's an example of though? That means that no one cares about them because there's no money there, and therefore they can run a club properly. Whereas everyone now with the money is struggling, and the leagues are popular, but the teams are crap.
Well,
that's what it is. Everyone, all anyone wants to see is a big gun get taken down, and that's why the Premier League is so popular. That's what it is. No one watches the German league, like Paul said, because it's one team.
I can tell you, I can bet someone now £1,000 that Bayern Munich win the next 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 next season. So I'll tell you what, Bayern Munich will win the next 8 out of 10 till 2030. They'll win 8 leagues. That's how shit it is. No one cares about it.
But but the Bundesliga is the only one with the 51% rule.
Yeah, is that turnover and wage?
No, it's ownership.
Leipzig at top of the league, though.
The supporters own 51% of every team in Germany, and that's by German law.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, is that why it's so boring again? I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
anyway, guys.
No, but I mean that it speaks to what Bayern Munich is doing as a positive, because you've got people who love the club, who care about the club, who own the club, who 100%. Help make the right decisions on. Hang on. And those people are the ones who help make the right decisions on how to run the club. We've got a bunch of people who just want to take money out of the club. That's all they care about.
Because 100%. They're businessmen, and they would look at the mould of German football and go, we can't make money out of that. We're not going anywhere near the German league. We're just going to go to a club that we know bleeds money, that can fund our own ventures elsewhere. And that is exactly why.
Fortune for tickets.
There's a reason.
What is it? 200, 300 quid for a season ticket.
To go where?
And they got the best atmosphere ever. Dortmund, Munich.
I know some of the tickets are about a tenner to get in Dortmund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I went 2 years ago and I paid that. I paid 25. I paid £25. I had a great seat.
Yes, I just need to check. Mary, you okay there? Mary, yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Mary's getting bombarded from all the big guns from all corners here. Oh, anyway, guys, I think we're at about hour and 5 minutes. How we've got to this stage, I do not know. But I'm just going to wrap it up there. Cheers for everyone who come in the comments, super chats, the new members that have joined. Do check out the join button on the main page if you are wanting to get ahead and get into the membership section of the channel as well. Much appreciated as always. Links in the description below to the Retro Locker who have hooked me up with all my gear that you can see in the background as well there. My wardrobe's all over the place at the moment. But yeah, do check them out as well. And obviously, I did post out earlier this week the Bruno Fernandes signed shirt. He's up for grabs on the raffle ticket prize on Football Prizes. They are joining up with Madrid United as well for loads of giveaways, prizes, draws, even match day experiences when the fans do come back. When that will be, I do not know. I'm quickly just going to shoot around all the people in there with me on the socials. Dave, just give the people a shout to your socials, pal, before we go.
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Stadiums for Ants. I make little models of football stadiums and some others around the world, so check out my work.
Dude, it is absolutely awesome, people, believe me. My man, top there.
It's me.
His kids are running around. He's going to go. You know what? Tim's just praying that we do these shows for a bit longer so he doesn't have to go back out and deal with his daddy duties. But Tim, let the people know where you're at, mate.
Niagara MUFC, Niagara Supporters Club, and Niagara Red on my personal accounts. And yeah, please save me.
Yeah. Nice one. United Central, my man Saeed at the bottom there. Let's give him a shout out to all your socials, buddy, mate.
Yeah, man. Just follow me on United Central. We are nearly at 25k, so please subscribe to my channel. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. And respect to all opinions, man. It's been a good one.
Yeah. Quality. Mary, She Devils United. Top.
United.
2,000 just hit now, I see, on the subscribers. Is that right, Mary?
Yep, we're doing a live 2K giveaway at 9 o'clock tonight. So come over, subscribe, and get in with a chance to win.
Good
9 o'clock, people. No excuse. You got the extra hour this morning, so you can stay up a bit longer. Come on. Get onto Mary's channel and get in there and get that giveaway. Give the girls a shout while you're there. Paul, davidlloyd.com.
I've actually just got in a class there for next week. That's why I've got to set the alarms down.
What class you doing, Paul?
Blaze.
What? What's that?
It's called Blaze, like boxing, running, and weights.
Oh, right.
I tell you, the weight's coming off with me, and for £208 a month, I expect it as well, bro. Otherwise,
wow.
208. Hey, family of five, bro. Family of five.
That's it.
That's Paul's getaway.
Kids are expensive. I want this free child meal so I could pay for David Lloyd. I wish that's going to get him in the back so
you get onto Marcus, mate. Get onto Marcus.
I tell you, not doing enough. I need to push it more. I need these free child meals so I can pay for next month's gym membership.
Oh man, that is it. On that note, we have to finish it, people. Do give the video a shout, give it a like, give it a share, and do subscribe if you are watching for the first time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Enjoy the rest of what's left of the weekend. Let's hope we have a better week this week. Leipzig and then Arsenal. God forbid we have this same conversation next weekend, people. But we will see. It's another week ahead. I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.